Free agency. It's right around the corner, and I want to look at a last look of the updated free agent list because it's going to get a little crazy, guys. If you've been following the channel over the last week, there are so many safeties in free agency. It's to a point now where we should be able to get a good veteran safety for not much money at all, especially with how cluttered it is in free agency. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Starting off right away, obviously right tackle is something that we want to look at and we care very much about. Jonah Williams is most likely going to be gone. We're not going to bring him back. According to this website, his annual salary is $10.8 million, and there's no way in heck we would ever sign him for anything close to that. So the two options I like, and I've still liked since the beginning, is Trent Brown, which right now in free agency, he would cost us $7.1 million. Imagine that. Trent Brown is way better of a right tackle than Jonah Williams. His average annual salary is $3 million less. And the only reason why is because of his age. Jonah is 26 years old and Trent Brown's 30. So because of his age, people are going to spend more money on Jonah Williams because you can develop him. He's young. Maybe he ends up becoming better. Who knows? Correct system. Good offensive line coach. They can have him. I'll take Trent Brown. Second guy I care about a lot is going to be Jermaine Pratt. He's another guy. Jermaine Illuminor. Not Jermaine Pratt. Jermaine Illuminor. He's very much in the same ballpark range of Trent Brown. Probably $7 million a year. I'm okay with bringing them both in. I really want to bring both of them in and have a 1-2 punch. And then go ahead and also... 1-2 punch. Have a starter, a backup, and then draft somebody. So you don't have to reach in this upcoming draft for any position, because you got to realize about this draft, and I'm learning this more and more as I'm looking at these prospects, this is an amazing draft class for tackles. It's a very deep draft class for tackles. So you could take a tackle in the third or fourth round, and the first round if you really wanted to, just to have backup depth. Or if you do sign two free agent right tackles, maybe you don't take a right tackle in the first round. You take one later on, depending on who's available. Like if Brock Bowers is available at pick 18, maybe with some free agents, you can, kind of work that around. Now, of course, this is just the right tackle section. If we go to actual tackle section, there is a lot of tackles in free agency. And again, it's very much like it has been in the past when it comes to, a lot of older guys. I'm trying to my best way to say that. A lot of older veterans when they always are in free agency. Some of them are good, some of them are not good. But honestly, out of this whole entire list here, there's not many I actually really care about too much. But, ironically enough, there are some guards that are listed here, even though we have tackle selected. And I think it's because some of these guards also play tackle. But if we do look at guards, because that's something that we are going to be looking for in free agency, is guards. Mainly so we can go ahead and fix the Cordell Volson issue, as you know. Laken Tomlinson, I think he's a really solid guard, but he's going to go for a lot of money once free agency hits. So if we go down the list here, Cody Whitehair. This is a player I talked about before. I really like him. I think he's a solid guard. He was cut by the Chicago Bears. He has a lot of upside. If we can get him for the correct price tag, I would not mind going for him. Kevin Zeitler is another guy. We've had him before. He's very successful with us. We had him at right guard, but we would have to move him to left guard because Kappa is our right guard. That's something to take a look at. Dalton Reisner, we talked about him before. Younger, he was played for the Minnesota Vikings. Has some upside there. Max Sharping, obviously our guy. But yeah, no, there's a lot of guards in free agency that we could go for. And I hope we pick up at least one. At least pick up maybe one or two, depending on the price tag, just so we can get some competition with Cordell Volson. Listen, at the end of the day, as I said many times, I just want as much depth as possible on this offensive line. because we're going for the Super Bowl. We're going for the long run, and you need to have depth in your offensive line if you're going for the long run. I mean, when you have, 19 games you're going for, 19, 20 games, you got to have as much depth as possible. You're not going to be successful if you don't. Now, of course, a lot of this we will also address in free agency, but also in the draft. The draft is where we're going to address a lot of these positions. But getting a good veteran or two is not a bad idea. So, tight end. Hunter Henry leads off our list here, even though I would say, even though I would say Noah Fant is actually the guy I care about the most. But, for example, Hunter Henry's average salary is $7.5 million, which is not bad at all. I would say, honestly, go out there and get Noah Fant, who his average salary right now is $6.2 million. Easily pay him that, 100%. He's 26 years old. He has time to develop. He's already great, but I'm saying he has even more time to develop in our offense. So this could be a multi-year contract for him. Go ahead and sign him. I would also sign Grosicki. I wouldn't mind 1-2 punch there. And then obviously we have Tanner Hudson. Bring back Drew Sample. Draft a tight end. We're not going to sign 2 free agent tight ends. Noah Fant will be our starting tight end. Then we have Drew Sample, who's very important on offense for blocking purposes, especially. Then we have Tanner Hudson, and then you draft a tight end. 4 tight ends on the roster. Go into the season, kicking and guns a-blazing, as they would say. The only tight ends I care about here, if I'm going to end this list, okay, Hunter Henry, maybe. Logan Thomas, no. Will Disley, yeah. I think Will Disley could be pretty solid. CJ, I don't want CJ back, personally speaking. Gerard Everett, yeah, I wouldn't mind him. Grosicki, I'll learn how to say his name once we sign him. Noah Fant, yes, obviously 100%. Austin Hooper, no. Robert Tonyan, no. Big Dog, no. Yeah, there's no one else on this list I really care about that much. Yeah, no, that list is tight end market is kind of dry. But the next thing we care about is safety. Safety market is flooded. I mean, you might have to call in somebody because this is a flood, guys. Jamal Adams, absolutely no, by the way. But he's going to get paid big money by somebody because he's only 28 years old and has the potential to be the best. He just can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. He has concussion problems. Ever since he got traded to the Seahawks from the Jets, he's been an absolute mess with injuries. Justin Simmons, I would say yes, and I would love to sign him, but it has to be the correct price tag, and that's really what it's going to come down to. But you see all these names, Eddie Jackson, Quandre Diggs, Micah Hyde, Rashawn Jenkins, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Like, there's so many names in this free safety market, which is great for us. It's not great for these players because they're not going to get paid. You're not going to get paid when there's 74 guys at your position trying to get paid too. Because what's going to end up happening is a lot of teams are going to go out there and try to put all their money on one said player, try to offer contracts to one said player. Other teams are going to come in and be smart and be like, okay, we're not going to worry about you. We're going to worry about us. So then they go ahead and say, okay, I want to try to get this guy, this guy, this guy. And they start plucking these guys off the waiver wire, and eventually everyone gets paid. But it's going to be like, a trickle down here where Jamal Adams is going to get a lot of attention. Probably 7 or 8 teams are going to offer on him and try to get him. We could see Kevin Byard get a lot of attention as well, right? But then you go down the list here, and they're going to start plucking off, like Jalen Mills probably gets signed right away. Because there's so many names. There will be some players like Jalen Mills, who not many people talk about or look at, and bam, now, he gets signed. So it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of names when it comes to the safety position. Other than that, I'm not really looking at too many other positions for us to sign in free agency. Corner would be cool. It depends on who's available and what guy fits our scheme because, again, like I said, we could always draft a corner, which I think is what they're going to do. Eli Apple, can you imagine we bring him back? He's only 28 years old. See, at $3.7 million, he was not that great, but he wasn't like the worst thing in the world for us. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't bring him. Not with all these other names. These other guys weren't here. I would say no. I would say maybe, but with all these other guys here, if you're going to go cornerback, you're probably going someone better than that. It really depends on the price tag, though, because if he'll take league minimum, why not? That's kind of how I look at it. If we'll take league minimum, I'm not fully against it. Who else was I was looking at here? J.C. Jackson's gonna get paid. Yeah, Cheeto. Okay. Oh no, Cheeto. I thought they had the market value for Cheeto. Cheeto apparently is going to the Steelers, which I think is funny. Steelers, or he's going to the Ravens. Which, you know what, Ravens, Steelers, you guys can take Cheeto. Enjoy Cheeto. He'll be great for you guys. When Jamar Chase is cooking him because of his back injury, we'll find out how that works out. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.